Good afternoon, Mike Sligh, back with you for another Friday update as we begin thinking about the start of the school year next week. So we want to welcome the over 150 new students that will be starting with us next week, as well as over 900 returning students. Welcome back to campus next week. We really appreciate the opportunity to partner with you again in Christian schooling at LCS. We know that everybody comes back to campus with a little different experience. For some of us, the COVID virus has just been really inconvenient and really upset our routine, but really has not dramatically affected us beyond that. For others of us, we have members of our school community that are coming back that are grieving deeply, having lost loved ones through the COVID virus situation, who have been severely ill, and we need to uphold those folks in our community in our prayers and support. As one teacher said this morning when we were praying together, said, we just need to keep it simple, to love God and to love others well. We've adopted a number of health protocols that we've written about in our parent resources information for you. Hopefully you've been able to read through that. I know there's a lot of detail there and there's a lot of new things to try to keep up with. So it will call on all of us to be flexible and somewhat patient as we adjust to these new realities. We'll be doing, starting the year, we're going to be doing temperature checks on our students every day as they come to school. The secondary students will be entering through the Evans Center. The rest of the students will be entering pretty much in their normal locations. But that'll probably take a little extra time in the morning, so you might want to allow a little extra time in the car line. We know every year, with or without COVID, car line the first 2 or 3 weeks is going to go slow. People are getting used to their routine, the timing. So please be flexible, be patient. We'll get through it. It'll settle out in a couple of weeks, as it usually does. We also have policies in there about how we're handling face coverings and what ages and what times and all those kinds of things, changes in the lunch routine. All those things are important. We won't be able to allow campus visitors from outside on campus, at least for the first quarter or so, until we see how all this is going to settle out. So please observe those requirements as well. Also, you received a couple of emails about the waiver form that we're requiring this year before students can begin class. Please get those to us as soon as possible so we don't have any delays with that protocol as well. Technology, we'll be doing some new things for technology, installing a lot of new equipment and teachers getting used to serving the LCS live, those going to school at home for a while, or those that will be going back home for quarantine or some of those kind of situations that may arise. There's probably going to be a few glitches along the way. Be patient, be flexible. Our teachers are spending most of the day working on trial runs on their equipment, trying to make sure that they understand how everything's going to work and getting used to what's going to be involved with those procedures. So hang in there with us. We know that technology can produce some hiccups along the way, and we'll get through it and we'll fix it as we go. Our goal for all these health protocols is to try to protect our opportunity to offer on-campus education at LCS. We expect there's going to be some infections along the way. We have procedures in place to deal with those when they happen, but we want to do everything we can do to try to protect our opportunity to continue to have education on campus for our students. And so that's the reason for a lot of the things we're doing. We appreciate your cooperation with us. This year at LCS, we're trying to focus on 3 core values: Christ-centered community, wisdom through learning, and spiritual cultivation. So in our Christ-centered community, it's going to really involve us focusing on loving one another well, on cooperating in all the different changes that we'll be implementing this year, and trying to do that in a way that honors the Lord and honors one another. Wisdom through learning, we know that intellectual knowledge is not enough to equip our students for the challenges they face today. They're going to need true biblical wisdom. We're trying to incorporate that in their education so they don't just know facts, but they understand some skills for living from the scriptural perspective. Which brings us to spiritual cultivation. We know that the Holy Spirit brings spiritual growth. We want to cultivate an environment and an atmosphere that helps students ask the hard questions, get those questions answered, and be able to grow spiritually during their time at LCS. I think those 3 distinctives really provide a unique educational opportunity for people in the greater Lakeland community. I don't think you can get those anywhere else. and we want to strive to make those distinctive and evident in everything we do here at LCS. In closing, let me offer a plea to you to do everything you can do to keep you and your family and your student healthy. We know to avoid large groups, face coverings in public places, social distancing, all those inconveniences, but as a whole school community, we need to try to work together to keep the LCS community on campus education a reality. That's going to take our discipline not only of how we help work with students and staff on campus every day, but what those students and families experience when they're away from our campus every day. So we need you to use good judgment, be prudent, do what you can do to self-regulate so that we can protect our opportunity to do what we do here for your family. And we will appreciate that greatly. So be flexible, be patient, love one another well, and we'll see you next week.